I need to get my mind right. I need to get healthy. Need to do something just for me. And to that end, I'll be shooting my mom's old Olympus OM-G 35mm film camera. And I don't mind sharing a portion of this. I like making videos. See, here I am, making one. But today the photography is just for me. I know that doesn't make much sense. Just this once, I really need something that's just for me. I'm returning to film photography after a 1.5 year hiatus. And I'm doing so with my mom's old gear. Actually, now that I think of it, I guess I stopped shooting film right around the time she died. Which I either, hadn't made that connection or just hadn't thought of it in a long time. Well, today I'm bringing her along with me, in spirit, metaphorically speaking. I'm wandering around with a camera and a ghost, and the photos are just going to remain between us, I suppose. I'm finding some cool places to shoot today, though technically I've been to all of these places, or at least passed by them, so finding isn't quite the word. It's just been a long time. I think the last time I was over here in this area, I was shooting a wedding, probably in 2006. And the first time I was over here, I was also shooting a wedding, 2004. No, I've been over here one other time since then. Shooting on film, in fact. In 2018, I think. I really wish I'd made a bigger effort to get my mom out of the house with a camera more often. I wish I could bring her here. I think she'd like it. I think she'd like to take photos of these ruins. I did push her to go out shooting with me a couple of times, but only a couple. That's what sucks most about having lost her. Now it's just too late. That book has been published, and there's no changing it. Today is about two things, actually. One is an effort to keep my mom alive in some small way, to spend some time with her memory, to go out and take photos because she can't. And that's why I'm using her camera, her lenses. But it's not a sacrifice. This Olympus OM-G is wildly satisfying, engaging, a very capable camera. It's a touch small for me physically. That's my only complaint, really. It tends to want to fly out of my hand, and I should probably be using a strap of some kind. But today is also about, as alluded to, recharging my internal battery, which is sorely needed. I don't mean to be selfish, but I'm going to be, anyway. Either that or I stop making videos, or I become incredibly insincere about it. Churn out soulless noise that I don't even care about. Well, that's just not possible. And I don't particularly want to stop. But surely most people can relate to the feeling of having reached your limit. And that's where I was at a couple of weeks ago. But I rarely, if ever, get to take photos that are just for me, so today I did. And it's my return to film photography. But the results are just for me. The other thing I rarely get to do is go take photos without filming it. Getting video of it, I mean. Focus 100% on the photography. A little bit, yes. Client work I rarely shoot video of, but that also very definitely does not count. I'm talking about stuff like this, a photo walk or a drive. Just for me. And as soon as I get this video edited, uploaded, I'm going to really go shoot just for me. No video of any kind. But already I feel a lot better. Way better than I did a few weeks ago, or even 1 week ago. I've backed way away from the proverbial ledge, and I'm starting to enjoy myself. A bit. I'm enjoying the act of photo taking again. A bit. But also I'm incredibly sad, flooded with memories and regrets related to my mom, fears about future losses, anxiety, reliving trauma. But that's just standard fucking fare. That's the status quo. After I've completed this round of doing stuff just for me, there's one commitment I need to fulfill, a video about a lens, but I'm not dreading it. It's a pretty wild lens. I'm not sad that I agreed to it. But then after that, I am indeed making a video about a camera, a specific camera. Yeah, I thought I was going to give that a good long break, explore other topics, and I will. But suddenly I had the opportunity to get my hands on the camera I've most wanted to own / make a video about this entire time. Actually, wanting to reacquire this particular camera is what kicked off my whole obsession with older DSLRs. Well, that and my boredom with mirrorless. And that started back in 2018 or 2019. I procrastinated though, and then I couldn't afford it. So forth and so on. The 1D, the original, my first ever DSLR that I ever owned. Shot tons of professional work on it, personal stuff. You can find the 1D on eBay, but I haven't had the greatest luck buying from eBay in general. Also, the 1D tends to be more expensive than it should be. A lot more expensive sometimes. Collector's item tax, due to it being the first. Unless you're willing to buy one that's just absolutely beat to hell. But other than that, they're kinda rare. I see a few just recirculating on eBay over and over. But I have alerts set. One popped up on MPB, good condition, semi-reasonable price. So I pulled over and I bought it right here, in this exact spot. Impulse buy, years in the making. I watched two slip away like 4 months back, and I was not about to let that happen again. I'll probably sell my 1D Mark II to help pay for it, but I'm not sure yet. I said I probably wasn't going to do any videos about cameras for a while. Yes, indeed I did. But now I'm also surprised to feel excited again. Sooner than expected. And I'm just letting that in. And I think I'll come back to these same locations with the 1D. These locations are already super connected to the 1D. In that I shot out here with the 1D way back when. And in that I just finally bought one after years of waiting. Out here. I bought it while I was out here. And so wouldn't that just be appropriate to come back with it? If my mom were still alive, she would not be shooting film. She was never in it for the nostalgia or tradition, preserving the old ways. She used film because that's what was available. I mean, I'm not saying she didn't see value in tradition. I'm just saying that feeling did not extend to photography. Photography was about the act of capturing an image to her, be it for art or, preserving a cherished moment in time, but nothing beyond that. I mean, maybe something beyond that. What I mean is I am fairly certain that, although we never directly talked about it, she had no interest in shooting film anymore once digital came along. Her love of photography was not wrapped up in the minutiae of the technology behind it. And yes, film photography is technology. My mom certainly didn't pluck any of this gear from any exotic trees. The film I'm shooting with did not wash up on the shores of the river Kodak. All cameras in all formats fall squarely in the category known as technology. And I could tell she found digital to be very freeing. She was not so restrained in her shooting as she had been her whole life. Only take one shot here, one shot there. Making sure not to waste any film. God, I love my mom. Miss my mom. I really wanted to revisit film. It used to bring me so much joy. But maybe I don't need it anymore. In the same way she didn't care, maybe I'm at a point where I don't care either. I'm glad film exists for those who are into it. And I'm glad that digital exists for those who are into it. But for a long time I thought that film was my thing, and maybe it's just not anymore. Whatever I was looking for when I took up shooting film again, maybe those things are no longer lacking in me, or I don't know, maybe I'm just in a very different place. Who knows? But at this moment, the path forward doesn't seem to include film. But I'm certainly not going to make any proclamations about what I'll do or definitely never do again. All of the options exist, and I can revisit whatever I like at any given moment. And I'll leave it there regarding film. It was fun to pick it up again. The whole day was more satisfying than usual. I didn't want to share my images, so fuck it, I didn't. And that felt great. I really liked several of them, though. There were some generic ones, some bad ones, and some good ones, just like normal. Watch any other video I've ever done, and you'll get a sense of what I got today. I didn't suddenly become a drastically better or worse photographer. I do always show my bad shots, my very worst shots, in fact, in videos. Why wouldn't I? It's interesting. The photos I cut out, and I do cut some out, generally speaking. I mean, I cut all of them out this time, but that's getting me away from my point. The photos I cut out are more in the middle somewhere in terms of quality or success, and I do it only to prevent a video from getting super repetitive, because there's just not that much to talk about there. Here's another shot that looks exactly like the last one. I'm not saying that there's no repetition whatsoever, I just try to keep it to a minimum. Whereas there's tons to talk about with bad shots, so I'm happy to include my bad shots. Sucks though when I include a bunch of bad shots or shots that I hate, like really, really passionately hate, with the intention of talking about them. But then when they come up, I'm stuck on some other point, and they just fly by without my having the chance to comment on them. That sucks. But I don't like critiquing other people's work. I think it's a shitty thing to do. At least when it's unsolicited. And I am asked to do it sometimes, though I would never ever do it publicly. So I critique my own, and that's fun, and nobody gets hurt. It's a victimless crime. And anyway, who the fuck am I to be critiquing someone else? I'm nobody. But the thing is, everybody's nobody. You know, but I'm exactly the nobody I want to be. And I'm not sure everyone can say the same, so I consider myself lucky. I'm thinking of someone I know extremely well, but I don't want to be too specific. Sweetest person in the world. I dearly love this person. An outside observer would think this person hasn't got a care in the world. Happy, content all the time. But there's actually an underlying darkness there. And I say that as a person with an underlying darkness, but mine is very visible, I feel. But there's this unfulfilled longing because this person hasn't found their passion. I try to encourage them, but my point is, before I met this person, more specifically once I was able to see past the surface, that's when I began to realize how lucky I am to have always known what it is I'm passionate about. If you know that about yourself, you're lucky too. And if you think you might enjoy film photography, indeed you might. If you're happy to stick with digital, good, stick with it. Find your passion while you still can. Maybe you tried photography for a while, but you just don't like it. Give yourself permission to move on. And most importantly, if you have loved ones, go make as many memories together as you possibly can.